Hey, what's up, Wagwan? This is Bonnie G, also known as Vibe. I decided to kind of turn my camera on today in a little conversation topic about, I don't know. I mean, there's so many different aspects of it, but in talking about relationships. In narrowing it down a little bit more, we've got to talk about romantic relationships. There's all other types of relationships, of course, that we get involved in our lives. Like whether it's a friendship, your family, whatever, business related, work related, whatever the case. But this one in particularly is talking about romantic relationships. I can't talk about everything regarding the romantic relationships because, again, we'll be on here discussing all day. So, in narrowing my topic down again, let's talk about communication and trust. Which are very broad topics. Once again, those are very broad topics, aren't they? Oh my gosh, we're doing great. Um, in regards to trust, we it's easy to say trust. Trust is definitely something that is earned. However, you can't just walk into a relationship talking about someone needs to earn trust from you when you're not allowing yourself to be trustworthy either. And then also when you just have this continuous chip on your shoulder that you wear regarding trust, but you want somebody to trust you. I don't know, I feel like I just said that, but anywho, don't judge me. I can't say that trust is a huge need or necessity in a relationship of mine when I'm not allowing myself to be in a position for my partner to trust me as well. Is basically what I'm saying. Me as a woman, I can't be like, I need a man to trust me, but the man has no reason or like not even, how do you say it, negating that the man needs to trust me too. We have to be able to trust each other. With communication, that falls by the wayside on for all kinds of reasons. I'm gonna just put myself and use myself as an example in this because I mean I'm just being real about me and my feelings. I have such a hard time with communication for the simple fact that a man could tell me something and I just take it at face value instead of paying attention to all of the other things that are in regards to that communication. So he can tell me, I don't know, I don't really want to use examples because I don't want to use them incorrectly, but he could say, okay, here we go. I'm looking at myself. He could say, I've never dealt with a woman with locks before. But it's the way that he says it to me. So he can say, all of my girlfriends, I've never really cared to deal with a natural woman, or I never really cared to deal with a woman that had locks. I think locks are this, and maybe say something that he feels in regards to locks. Me, I can instantly take that comment that he says, take it personally. I would take it personally. I mean, maybe not in my current state of like what I've learned and how I've grown and developed, but it's easy for me to take that statement and be like, well, then he don't like me, and then go on my merry on way. So right there, we created a moment of miscommunication. When in reality, he just was telling me I've never dealt with a woman with locks before. This is what my preconceived notion of locks have been over the past few years and stuff. but when I met you, I felt differently. You know, he didn't say all of these things, but in his explanation further down the line, should the two come together and have an actual conversation, that's what his output is. That's where communication needs to come into play, but we miss it. We miss it so easily. Now with trust, feels like that's a whole nother ball game, because we focus as women. Now I'm gonna talk about myself, because you know what? I can be honest. So I can't generalize and talk about all women. But with trust, I generally would focus so much on, let me make sure that this man isn't doing anything behind my back. Make sure he's not seeing and talking to all these other different women and stuff when he's supposed to be focusing on me. Meanwhile, I'm sitting up here talking to this dude, and that dude. Got me a whole little stash put away of dudes. And even though I may be like, oh, I'm not saying anything to them to make them feel like they're the only one or anything, the case in point is I'm still talking and flirting and entertaining with other men. So who am I to sit here and ask for this trust when I'm not being trustworthy fully? It's definitely a double standard, but when it's coming from the mouth of a woman, it hits a little bit differently. Like, I know it definitely hits a little bit differently when I think about it. I'm so focused on what he's doing and making sure he's not hurting me, but what am I doing as a woman to make sure that he is safe as a man? I'm not helping the situation. I just feel like there's too many things that I as a woman can make sure that I am doing to make sure that I'm holding up my end of the deal just as much as I expect a man to hold up his end of the deal. I just was sitting back thinking about that, and I'm like, damn, I did not take all of that into consideration. And it's about, this isn't the first time that I've ever thought about anything like that, so at least I've had a lot of practice. But there's just more that I need to do as a woman to ensure that I am solid, just the same as I expect a man to be solid with me. And I challenge all of my sister girls out there to do the same. Everything that we ask for and expect of a man, what is so hard about you as a woman to do the same? And of course, yes, I'm just talking about a heterosexual relationship. There's too many different other variations of relationships to really cover them all. So just insert self where necessary. That's probably the easiest way to put it. But are you upholding and standing 10 toes down as a woman or as the one mate with the expectation of the man to do the same for you? Is that fair? Just think about that and figure out where we can do better. I know I am absolutely doing the best that I can. It may not be perfect, but I'm doing the best that I can. And I would pray that any man that sees any type of interest in me or whatever relationship I pursue or whatnot, that he can see and acknowledge that. And that's all.